After the miserable month of May, the only thing that I had in my mind was going to the beach in June. I just was desperate for a good beach day. So finally, a couple of weeks ago, I got to enjoy a good beach day. It was a beautiful day, perfect, sunny, kind of like today. The only problem was that the water was freezing. So naturally, I wasn't going to go in the water, but just sitting outside was wonderful. And as I was there, in my sort of beach bum slumber, big wind came and took somebody's umbrella right into the ocean. And so there was no way I was getting in the ocean to go get this umbrella because the water was so cold. But some guy comes running across the sand, jumps into the water, yells a little bit because of how cold it is, grabs the umbrella, and takes it back. And surely the fact that the owner of the umbrella was an attractive woman had nothing to do with his readiness to go into the water. But it did sort of shame me that here I was perfectly capable of going into the water to get an umbrella. And I just said, I'll let it go. And somebody else was so ready to suffer a little bit of discomfort in order to do something good for another person. I think during these summer months, the temptation toward beach bumness is rather strong. There's this real temptation, if we're looking at what makes somebody a really great person in the summer, it's the ability to just lay on the beach and do nothing. And yet, when we see somebody who is ready to suffer a discomfort in order to accomplish something good, we're shamed. We realize, I'm made for more than this. I'm not made to be a beach bum all my life. I'm made to be ready to suffer a little bit in order to bring about a greater good. It's what we call the virtue of fortitude, bravery, the willingness to suffer an injury in order to accomplish a good. Pope Benedict had a great quote after he was elected pope. He told some children that God always listens to your prayers. I asked that God wouldn't make me pope, and God said no. But then he said he realized that he was looking for comfort. He didn't want to be pope because he was looking for comfort. And he said, I realized that the world offers you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness. That when we are shamed by those who are willing to undergo some suffering, it's then we realize that we're called to something more. We're not called to make our lives comfortable. We're called to make our lives great, to offer ourselves, to give ourselves to another. This ability, this willingness to suffer something for the good of another. A priest friend of mine was telling me a story about an old monk, a friend of his, who was on his deathbed. And so we went to visit this old monk. And while he was there in the hospital, this young nurse came in, and she, fiddled with a couple of wires and different things, and then she left. And when she left, this old monk looked at my priest friend and said, that nurse isn't very attractive. And my priest friend said, he thought that this priest was really losing it because she was quite attractive. And he said, okay, well, he's going blind, that's fine. And he said, no, she's not very attractive. If you look at her face, everything about her says that she has cared for herself. He says, if you look at Mother Teresa, that is a beautiful face. Mother Teresa, if you've ever seen photos of her, she would not have made some of the magazine's, most attractive lists. She had wrinkles that could have been, mountainous. I mean, just the amount of care that she had for others that prompted her to look the way she did. And yet that's true beauty. That when we see the face of a mother who has bags under her eyes because she's been staying up all night taking care of her sick child, it's a beautiful face. What true beauty is that which shows forth the greatness of love. It's what Jesus is talking about in the gospel today. If any would come after me, let him take up his cross daily. Let him be ready to suffer a little bit of discomfort in order to bring about the good. It's where true Christian greatness lies. It's where true human greatness lies. this ability to do the good, this willingness to suffer a little bit of discomfort. Maybe that cross, that daily cross, is suffering the discomfort of isolation in order to preserve the good of real intimacy with somebody, rather than going into the false sort of intimacy that we can get in other ways. Maybe that discomfort, that suffering, is resisting the gravitational pull of the pillow on Sunday morning. That discomfort that we reject in order to bring about our true good, worshiping God, being with our brothers and sisters. Whatever that cross is, it's in carrying the cross that your true greatness lies, that my true greatness lies, so that we don't become the beach bum, but we become followers of Jesus Christ, those who are willing to carry our cross in order to accomplish the greater good. Praised be Jesus Christ.